All right. I guess it'd be easier to hear me if I'm talking to the microphone. How's that? I hope it's good. Just check my sound out, but I don't want to hear myself talk. All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back for another episode of Politics. Top friend Angel in the house, as always. You only knew what that was. That's pretty good. Um, hey man, I'm only here for 30 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it a tight 30 minutes, even though this is how much stuff I got to get through. So if anybody want to throw something in, an experience, or maybe you never even heard of Juneteenth, as you all seen by the title, I'm just interested. Have anybody, have any of you guys, like, did y'all learn about Juneteenth in high school or college? College might be different because you can have like special education or whatever, but um, in high school, because I don't recall. Granted, this comes from the guy that love history, um, but I did one day of African American studies, and then I'm like, I got to transfer classes. As like, but it wasn't like the subject. Like, I picked the subject, but I ain't like the teacher. I did one day. She gave us like she gave us what we're going to be doing the entire semester um, on the first day of class, and I'm like, nah, nah, I can't do it. I'm out of here. So, so it might have been my fault. Maybe I didn't learn about Juneteenth because um, I transferred classes so fast. maybe it's all on me. Um, it's a funny story, man. One day I did one class, and I'm like, 52 minutes. I walked right out of that class. I never forget the counselor's office was right across the hall. I walked directly across the hall, and like, man, take me out of this class now. Good times. Anyway, uh, so Juneteenth is the celebration of the actual emancipation of slaves. Even though the emancipation was signed 2.5 years earlier, in 1863, January 1st, as a matter of fact, 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It took him 2.5 years to, permeate throughout the rest of the country. Most of the plantations and stuff that were like bordering the north, like the northern part of the country, they were freed relatively immediately because the north had a lot of influence there, but the deeper southern states, they didn't have as much influence. So allegedly, it took a lot of time for it to get down there. Um, they got some conspiracy theories that, um, you know, what did they say that they, the South killed the messenger. Like Lincoln sent somebody to let them know, but they killed that dude. But I think the more likely uh, explanation is that the war technically wasn't over. Like the war wasn't over until 1865, like 2 years later, was when the actual Civil War was over. So I think that they might have heard, and they're like, well, I'm not about to free my slaves, and then we win. I got to go find my slaves again. That don't make sense. So I think that's more why they did it. It took them, like I said, 2.5 years for generals to get down into Texas. Texas was like the last stronghold. Galveston, Texas, as a matter of fact. Like I said, it took them 2.5 years to get down there. They did, and finally liberated slaves. So that essentially that's what it is. It is even though the Emancipation Proclamation happened a few years before, it is the actual freeing of slaves. So and that's why we talk about it. That's why we celebrate it. Let me see. The first Juneteenth, well, clearly it happened on June 19th is when they got down to Texas to actually free everybody. So that's why it's celebrated on June 19th. Of course, the following year is when they had the first Juneteenth celebration. It was 1866, of course, because that's how time works. They said the first one was held in Texas. Like the first actual celebration was held in Texas. And like I said, 1866. At that rally or whatever, they actually read some of the free slaves actually read the Emancipation Proclamation, which at that time, like, got to be like super impressive. Like, slaves weren't supposed to read it all, let alone be able to read something like an official government document. So the fact that they were able to do that, it's pretty cool. And they, so I guess the few years after the actual freeing of men, it was a trend of eating and drinking red food items. So strawberry pop, I guess, was a big hit. Just red stuff. I don't know, fruits, strawberries, and stuff like that. But it was used to symbolize all of the blood that had been spilled during slavery. So they went really, really heavy with the red stuff, which is great. I think that's a great symbolism. I'm sure that's not something that stands today, but in some cities, maybe it is. Who knows? It traveled throughout the country from Galveston. Ended up in places, well, clearly it's all over now, but the first few places to pop up was like Chicago, LA, actually like a small town outside LA. I couldn't get the official name. New Orleans, and small areas in New York City is where it kind of permeated through first. So this year is 2020. It'll be 155 years since Juneteenth, man. Like the first official, the day, like 155 years, and somehow it's not a national holiday. I've seen a few arguments like, well, you got to be patient sometimes because, it even took 20 years to get Martin Luther King Day as a national holiday. It's been 155 years. $155 man, to even just celebrate like an independence victory. You know what I'm saying? Like 155 years. So, I don't know what they're I don't know what they're waiting on. It's a congresswoman in Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee. She writes up bills every single year, resolutions rather, every single year in regards to getting Juneteenth recognized. Once the Senate actually passed something in 2017, I want to say 2016, like actually making it Juneteenth Independence Day. But that's still not the same as being recognized as a national holiday. So it is on some calendars you'll see. I think it's on Google calendars as well, but it's not it's not the same as having a national holiday. And I'm not saying that just from the standpoint of having an off day and getting paid for it, but more of just um, what you're supposed to use those days for. Not supposed to, but what what you can use those days for is a reminder of the history. So you can go and do your own research. You can go to your museums and go find out some information in regards to whatever day it is that you get off. So whether it's Martin Luther King Day or President's Day, I don't even know if that's. I'm sure that's a national holiday, but whatever Memorial Day, like you go learn about, um, past soldiers and stuff who gave up their lives for the country. So so it's not the same. Um, and I don't know what's the holdup, like what's taking so long. Um, like I said, she does this every year in June. As a matter of fact, today is the 17th. She just submitted a bill on the 16th of June. Um, this time it's a little bit different. I mean, you guys know all the stuff that's going on in the country right now. Um, she has over 200 co-signers, co-sponsors to this bill. So hopefully we can gain some traction, and that's to get this thing passed. Um, I think it's pretty important, man. Just from a understanding standpoint, um, you can't force people to teach it in schools. Like I don't think you can force it to be part of the curriculum. But if you got a national holiday, if you got a day, like a reason why you're off, you might do some research into it. School teachers might find some creative ways to introduce it to kids, which is what you want to do, which is kind of what you have to do in order to get these things to inflict change, like get it into the kids while they're young and let them grow up experiencing it, maybe with some new information that we didn't have. Like I said, I didn't learn anything about Juneteenth in high school. I don't believe. I don't ever remember it mentioned. Like nothing. I don't remember any of it. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what the holdup is, but I'm excited that it seems to be gaining some traction. So not just from her, but also um, other people. I'm assuming. I mean, 200 people. So I'm assuming that's people in her party and out of her party. Where it's just it's kind of just time, man. Um, and maybe it's a holdup because not every state recognizes it as even just as a state holiday. Um, you got it's 3 states that don't recognize it as of right now. You got Hawaii. There's only 3 states: Hawaii, North and South Dakota. That's it. Um, that's it. 3 states. So maybe that's what the holdup is. Maybe that's why they haven't, uh, recognized it or whatever. Like maybe that's why. But like, I don't think that's the case. Now that I think about it, because I think it's still states that don't recognize Martin Luther King Day. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I remember hearing that. I think I'm not sure how true it is, but um, I don't know. That can't be the reason. That can't be the reason why. You know what I'm saying? The last few states to actually make it a point was Montana in 2017, Arizona and Utah in 2016. Were like the last states to pass it. I did see that somewhere in Pennsylvania had did passed something recently, but apparently not that, because they've had it since it's been like a long time. I want to say since the 90s, 97 or something like that for Pennsylvania. So they just did something recently. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I don't know. Angel said, I didn't know anything about it in high school. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why that is, or like what was the holdup for it, for like to not be any mention of it at all. Um, I don't understand it. Like they're real selective in school. Like I think that's another issue. That's another issue for another day, I suppose. So I don't understand why I really don't understand why they wouldn't teach something like that. Like, and that's even pro America, like, you know what I'm saying, something positive. But yet they choose to negate it. I don't understand. Let me see. I did want to put down a while we're talking about it, a banner. I hope I'm gonna typos. I was typing this thing right before I went on, but at the bottom, it looked like so many more names on this paper. But at the bottom, scrolling, these are companies that they're recognizing Juneteenth as a company. So like Nike is giving people paid time. They're giving people paid the day off. These other companies, I don't know if they're paying their people. I know a lot of like Google, Twitter, like they're canceling office meetings for that day, telling people to go and do something cultural, I suppose. But I don't know if that's paid. But Nike for sure came on and said that these will be paid days, like paid time off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to these people, man. I think it's important to, and I'm not saying that this is the end all be all. I'm not saying that this is enough. Like I'm happy with this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely not saying that. But it's a good start, especially some of these people, some of these companies that, make a good chunk of their money off of Black people, like Nike specifically. Lyft and BuzzFeed and Square, like everybody uses all these people. The NFL is mostly Black. That's a whole nother story for another day too. I don't know. Those guys are a-holes for real. The NFL is something else. Let me see. Angel said some companies are really coming through right now. For sure, they are. And you got to start somewhere. I think that's the biggest thing about it is everybody looking for perfection, but like it's a start. Like you got to start somewhere, and I think that's what they're doing. Erica said, "Yeah, it's still a lot. It's still a work in progress." I'm assuming she mean it is, and so I also got like a list of a bunch of different companies and stuff that I can't find it right now that had like a not just like a all lives matter or we sympathize with the movement in the country that's going on right now. It was like companies that literally came out and said like we support Black people, the Black movement, Black neighborhoods, like an actual like don't be vague with it. Like we actually support Black people, and that was something that I was a fan of. I actually think I had it for the last show. Maybe I deleted it on accident, but it was a big list of those companies too that came out and said like actual, like the words, saying, not being vague, trying not to piss nobody off like Starbucks did, pissing everybody off. Regina joined us. What's going on, Regina? But yeah, so for those of y'all that joined us late, I was just asking. Angel had already answered, but did they teach y'all anything about Juneteenth in like high school? Like I don't know how far your education go, but like I said, college would be different because it's more selective. But did they teach y'all anything about that, about Juneteenth in high school? I don't remember nothing. I don't think I even heard the term until I was in college, maybe. I don't understand at all. So yeah, so I did want to say that like I said, the latest bill, the latest effort to make Juneteenth a national holiday has been submitted just 2 days ago. So of course, nothing happens that fast in this country for sure. I don't know how everybody feel about it. I know that. Like, what's the argument against it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the very least, you get a day off from work. You know what I'm saying? A paid day off or a floating holiday or something. Like, so, what's the argument against it? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't able to find any transcripts from like any sessions of Congress where people like the reason it didn't go further or didn't go through. But for a lady to be submitting it every single year and for it to be stonewalled every single time, I don't even understand it. I don't get it. Like at the very least, take the free day off from work. Like I don't get people. I don't get the system sometimes, man. Regina said, "No, I never heard about it until I saw Ebony's post." That's just crazy, and not for you, but it's crazy that something so significant in American history, and like I said, this is actually America's history is not great. You know what I'm saying, in various reasons, in various ways. But this is something you guys can play up good. Like, man, we marched down there. We had to get every single slave free. It could be a nice union story or something. You know what I'm saying? But they, for whatever reason, though, they don't. I don't know, man. I don't understand it at all. Let me see. Erica said, he liked what LeBron is doing. He's working on getting people out to vote. I agree. I mean, LeBron is like I don't know if he's more activist than basketball player or whatever, but he's definitely a part of it, a part of the movement, something bigger than himself for sure. Whether it's building schools or anything, man, he's doing his thing, getting people out to vote or whatever. It's definitely dope. So yeah, so Erica, when you start doing your stuff to get people to vote too, we'll definitely get you on here. Angel said, I saw that. I don't know what you're talking about. Erica said she got to add Ebony as a friend. Yeah, for sure. She has some good posts. Like I said, always go add her business page, her podcast page. The Ignoring the Course with Ebony J. She do her show Sundays before we do ours, typically. And she's a good follow, man. She's very cleaner than us and all that stuff. Language and all all the good stuff that she brings to the team. So I did want to just leave y'all with some stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, it's not a national holiday now, but I don't mean that it couldn't be one later. So I was just looking at some stuff that if you happen to be off that day, and I know some people still are locked up because of COVID or whatever. But just some stuff you can do now. Some stuff you can watch or whatever in the house. Like you can't get out and rally or get people to vote or whatever. You trapped in the house, man. I guess just a quick list of movies or whatever you can watch. And like I said, it's just some good history, some good entertainment, and you can't go wrong with that. Erica said maybe a hula hoop and register event. Hey, sometimes you got to think outside the box, man. You got to think outside the box to get people to get out and and do their thing. So it wouldn't, I know you're making a joke, but that might be it. That might be the way to get people for sure. Erica then said, I've never celebrated Juneteenth, but I think I will this year. I agree. I've never done it. I've been aware of it, but I've never done it. My family never done it. I don't want to say we celebrate the 4th of July, but it is a day where you're off of work, so you can get together with your family without worrying about having to rush and get back home. And then like who don't like fireworks? The only thing I don't like about fireworks is that here in Cleveland, they light fireworks from June all the way until like football season starts like August or something. Like they just don't stop. They start super early and then they just don't stop for no reason. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But they do that. Other than that, like who don't like fireworks? So we never really say like Happy 4th of July or anything like that. In my family, it was more just like good to see you. Like we took it as a time to hang out. But I think we should though. Hopefully become a national holiday, and we'll be able to use that as our official day, and then we can just rest and chill out the 4th of July. Regina said, "My boyfriend told me some places are closing back up at Myrtle Beach." Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I think I want to say last week we talked about a lot of different stuff, but we I had a whole section on COVID. Actually, it's right here. Um, so it's a little bit dated. It's a little bit. It's about a week old as far as number wise. So it's probably won't even be accurate. But as of last week, let me see. As of last week, you had 12 states that were up 50% or higher. You had 10 states that was up between 10 and 49% higher cases. You had 8 states that were holding steady with their COVID numbers, and then you had 20 states that were lower, between 10 and 49%. And thankfully, Ohio was one of those states that were in the lower percentile. But yeah, 12 states that's up 50%. Like I said, this is old information. It's from last week. So the numbers could be even more crazy. But yeah, I can see it for sure, Regina, no question. I don't understand it, but I can see it all day. She said, I agree. Oh my God, stop fireworks nonstop through the week till 4 a.m. But I like having the barbecue. Barbecue for sure. I'm always down for barbecue on any day. I don't need a special day to barbecue. Just grab some meat, Paul. grab some meat, grab some meat, and then we can make it a barbecue. Ebony J, you run out of time. She said, catch her up. She had a session. We just talked about Juneteenth. We talked about why it's celebrated, when it's celebrated. We talked about how it took 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. The last set of free slaves in Texas, it was like 250,000 people like had to wait an additional 2.5 years to be free. That's an insane stat. Like it's just crazy. We talked about the first Juneteenth celebration the year after they were actually free on June 19th, 1865. We talked about how they ate a bunch of red food, strawberry pop, just red foods did y'all know? I found this out today. It's a random fact or whatever, but when I was like just looking at the red foods, did y'all know that they had red velvet cake back in the 1800s? Now it could have been a lie. Like the article could have just been making it up, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like red velvet cake in the 1800s. But anyway, they was eating a bunch of red food items to signify the blood that was spilled, like during the years of slavery. We talked about Congress passing in 1997 that is like it's a Juneteenth Independence Day, like officially, but still not a national holiday. We talked about Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, who submits every single year, like a resolution bill every single year for the day to be recognized as a national holiday. This year it seemed like she got more strength than in the past, so that's where we're at. We talked about some of these companies that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. These are people. These are companies that are going to recognize Juneteenth this year, and that list might get a little bit bigger. They're going to recognize it and give people the day off. I don't know if it's paid or whatever, but I know for sure, Nike said it would be a paid day off from here on out, and hopefully they keep their word. We talked about that every state recognized Juneteenth as a holiday except for 3, Hawaii, which is kind of surprising to me. When I read that, I was kind of surprised. North and South Dakota, I I wasn't super wasn't super surprised. And then I just want to look back. Like Montana just changed in 2017. I kind of wasn't surprised at that either, being that it's Montana. Like I don't know if it's a bunch of black people or black influence in Montana. I've never been, so I don't know. And then Arizona and Utah, another two states that when you think of, you just think of like a bunch of white people or whatever, Mormons or whatever. So um, I don't, so the last couple of states don't surprise me. Everything except for Hawaii. Hawaii was a little surprising to me. Ebony J said, "Did you see the food you should eat? It's traditional food. Like you can make it Southern food or whatever. A lot of it's just cookouts and stuff. They said that the purpose for it is to do like some self reflection, like get out and learn something, learn a class, like make yourself better. Like it's supposed to be like, I mean, just think about it. If you were a slave and then they said, "Are you free?" You can go. The first thing you probably want to do, besides see a family and all this stuff, will be uh, do something to better yourself. Find some land, get a job, get a real job, make some money. Like do something to better yourself is the key. But they didn't have anything specific. It listed some stuff, but it didn't say. It just said strawberry, strawberry pop was like a key staple for many, many years, and they ate red foods such as red velvet cake. That's really what it said. I read that in two different articles, by the way. So, I'm assuming they hold a little bit of weight. Erica said, so red food. Yep. Ebony J said, I saw that on the list too. Ebony J said, it's going down next year from here on out. I agree. I agree. She said, my contract is giving us half the day. Oh, that's good. That's definitely good. Ebony J said, how come black people don't do a better job of educating us? I don't know. I think, well, with this specifically, I don't know. Let me put you up on the screen. I don't know. It's a bunch of black people that don't know. It's a bunch of young black people now that don't know, which I understand it because the school's not teaching it, but the internet is a thing. So if you wanted to find out some your history, kind of no excuse. Older black people, I don't think they knew. I really don't. And even still, even if they did, like your aunt said, Ebony, she just took it as a day to celebrate with her family, not celebrating the day, but it's just a day to celebrate getting together with her family, which, there's definitely nothing wrong with that at all. But I just don't, let's talk about the 4th of July, sorry. So whatever day that she can get off of work is what she took it as. Erica said black people celebrate the 4th. They do, but I don't know why. Like I don't know the significance of it. Like I don't know. I'm not sure why they do. I know they do, and I don't know if. And maybe that's just how they all think. Maybe they just think that. Maybe they just think that, or maybe they just do it for the convenience of actually being off that day. I don't know. I can't answer that because I'm younger. No, not too many people under me to teach or whatever in that way. So why the older black people haven't taught us, like doing a better job of educating us? I don't know. The only thing I can think, or the only thing that I hope, is that they didn't know. So you can't fault them for not passing something down that they wasn't aware of themselves. So yeah, so I don't know. I think that like I said, so Friday, get you some red, get you some strawberry pop. I know it might not fit in some of y'all diets and all that stuff, but get you some watermelon or some shit, I don't know, some spicy red sausage. I don't know. Get you some red, you know what I'm saying? Have something red as a celebration. I'll definitely get on board. I'll post it somewhere, just whatever red food I'm having, because I think that I don't know, I think that'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be cool. So I'm gonna get out of here. But I seen this video earlier. It was a poem actually, and I want to see if I can pull the poem up. for y'all to watch or listen to. Let me see how this is gonna come through. Also, I didn't get permission from this person to play this poem, so don't don't snitch on me. All right, hold on. Don't. I know how y'all be out there sometimes. Don't tell on me. Oh, thank you, Regina. I'm sure somebody else says stuff, but I can't see because I'm looking at a different screen. But I'm gonna play this, and then we'll finish up and we'll get out of here. Let me turn the speakers on.
American history is mandatory, but Black history is optional. Black literature, a prop for show. Look at how they've accommodated as we play along. With common outdated topics like slavery doesn't exist, it's been whited out. Well, don't I feel liberated? But I don't know freedom. Freedom. Do you know me? Am I important to you? Or just an affirmative act? Can I freely talk while still being Black? And will you understand me as I speak rhythmic words that beat on your uncomfortable conscience? Listen to me, freedom, because I have words for you. Black words with a deep melanin tone and not a tone for just existing. Words that are scarred and whipped and chained only to break loose with a strong hand and a fervent prayer. Words from the past, reverb, bouncing off every corner, surrounding you. Words that are real and cannot be whited out. Because the color always bleeds through. Words with a history that is equal. So please do not try to separate it. I am not an option. I am concrete. I am finite. I am mandatory. And you deserve to know me. You deserve to know Juneteenth. And I deserve to know freedom.
Man, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to finish. That shit deep, man. I'm not a real big poetry guy, but that when I seen it earlier, I'm like, man, that's strong. I don't know, man. Hopefully it wasn't too choppy when it came through. Hopefully y'all can hear it well. As you know, the name of the poem was just "Words for You," a Juneteenth poem. So you know, hopefully hopefully I was able to hear it well enough. I'm gonna finish out the comments. I'm gonna get out of here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Ebony J said, "Yes, this specifically, I've heard of it, but never really knew. I feel crazy when it's my birthday. Yeah, I agree. Like you share your birthday with such an important day, and for it not to even be covered in school. And like I said earlier, you know, probably before you got in here, that you know, I don't know why there is any pushback from it. It's not like they couldn't turn this into a pro-American story, like, oh, this is what the white man did for you, or anything. Like, this is what America did. This is what America is. We marched down there, you know, and freed every single person, even if we had to go to state by state. You know, they could have had a whole story, something. I don't want to say false, but something to to make it into the allure of this how great America is, all by man, celebrating the freedom of people. I don't get it. Regina said, we don't celebrate it. We just, like you said, have food together for sure. Regina said, happy birthday. You said it, but I didn't know if you was talking to me or Ebony, but it's the same thing, I guess. It's one day after the other. Ebony J said, well, I know now. You know better, you do better. That's true. Erica said, happy birthday, y'all. Thanks for sure. Thank you. Welcomes. Hello, mother. I'm glad y'all can hear. Regina said, wow. Ebony said, I felt that. It was good. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big poetry guy, but when I heard that, I'm like, that's pretty cool. And hopefully I can share it with you guys. So that's it for me, man. I just want to thank y'all for joining us as always. Us, me, you. Thank you for joining us. We. Give Ebony J some celebratory claps or whatever. It's her birthday, Juneteenth. Like I said, go out and do something. Eat some red food. Take a picture of it. Post it. Shit, why not? It's just such an important day that the fact that it was ignored for so long is just, I don't know. It don't sit right with me. Like I said, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe out there. Enjoy Juneteenth. We're still trying to get those videos for y'all, so just bear with us. It might be a little later than we wanted or whatever, but it all coming along. Stay safe this weekend. It's supposed to be crazy hot, and hopefully we'll see y'all Sunday. Ebony J said, I know next year is a long time away, but y'all all invited. Is going to be big. To be honest, this makes me feel honored, and it makes me want to celebrate my birthday even more. That's great. That's great. Angel said, you write me. I'll write you. Not good ones. I'm pretty decent. Not good ones, though. But yeah, stay safe out there from COVID, from police shit, from the temperature, because it's going to be crazy. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in a couple of days. Sunday for sure. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. So if you got topics or whatever, definitely let us know. Yeah, man, that's it from me. Get out of here. Till we meet again, y'all. Salute to the city as always, and I'm out.